watch screens. And we can't talk about television anymore. We need to talk about screens. It could be a computer, it could be a DVD, it could be a video. They watch a screen for an average of 2 hours a day. And one of the things that's happened in the United States is that there are videos designed specifically for babies. This is from Teletubbies. Teletubbies did it. So now they're making educational videos for babies. We counted well over 200 baby videos claiming to educate babies. And they are a complete and total scam. Yeah, I mean, just fraud. They're complete fraud. And parents are buying these, huge numbers of parents in the United States buy these videos and put their babies in front of it, thinking that they're doing a favor for their babies. And so now we have public health organizations partnering with baby video companies to make educational videos for babies when there's no such thing. And the thing is, there's no evidence that watching videos or watching TV is beneficial to babies. There's starting to be evidence that it may be harmful. It's beginning. These are correlation studies. So it's not cause, again, it's correlation. So what the studies are showing is that for babies, hours of television viewed are linked to doing less well on certain intelligence tests, not doing as well with language development. The environmental movement uses something called the precautionary principle. You know, if there's a possibility that something's harmful, let's not do it until we know for sure that it's not harmful. The American Academy of Pediatrics, when Teletubbies came out, made a recommendation that children under 2 see no screen media at all. This is something we're doing to babies. And one of the reasons that companies like to get to babies is because what they can do is brand the babies with media characters. So the babies develop all these warm, fuzzy feelings about media characters. So if you look at that, we have, you know, Teletubbies. They were giving away Teletubby videos in hospitals to newborns. And these are all these products for babies. Disney, Nickelodeon. And then, so the kids have this, and then they go to, I took that in my local grocery store. So you know, the parents are taking their little kids to the grocery store, and the kids start wanting these products, and why not? They have them at home. They're familiar. So we're going from babies, and now we're going to the other really vulnerable group, and that's pre-adolescents, early adolescents, who are huge targets for marketing, particularly around body image, sexuality, and violence. This is in a magazine it's called J14, which means that, you know, 10-year-old girls read it or 11-year-old girls read it. It says, small like you, really, really, really skinny. Okay, let's go on. Really, really, really skinny. And this was unbelievable to me. It shouldn't be. But all these little girls, and you said there were parents lined up with these little girls to be all made over like Barbie. And you know, the toys that we give our children, those are the messages about what life is supposed to be like, the images. Someone said, he who controls the stories controls the culture. And our stories are being controlled by corporations now. But the Barbie is nothing compared to the Bratz dolls, who exude a kind of insolent, in-your-face, precocious sexuality. What's important about the Bratz? The breasts, the eyes, and the legs. They're you know, really, really, really skinny. I know that there's a lot of concern here about precocious, irresponsible sexuality for very young girls, and then that's a real problem here. You know, it's also a problem in the United States. This is what they see. And the thing about it is that there's a kind of marketing that's called aspirational marketing. And what that does is exploit the normal developmental vulnerability of children to want to be like older kids, to look up to older kids and want to be like them. But what the marketing industry does, the marketing industry works with child psychologists, they work with anthropologists, they know a lot about children. But instead of using it to make things better for children, they use it to sell things. So they say, 6-year-olds want to be like teenagers. Let's market to them as though they are teenagers. And the teenagers are being marketed to as though they were 21. And when the advertising industry says kids are getting older younger, it's true that girls are reaching puberty earlier. But there's no evidence that their judgment is catching up. There's no evidence that their social skills are catching up with that. That was in 17 magazine in the United States, which is read by 12-year-olds. That was an ad for Reeboks sneakers. Another one from 17. And here, the message to the girls is, it's okay to let a boy undress you in public. And it's fun. And doesn't it look like fun? And that was in a magazine called Elle Girl. Elle is a magazine in the United States for women. Now, all these magazines now have magazines for girls, and that one's even worse in terms of promoting a kind of plastic sexuality. And it's really important to remember that the sex that kids are taught in the media, it's not real sex. It's not like sex education in the schools, which is about how to present sex to children in a way that is healthy for them so that they grow up to be healthy, happy people. This is about sex to sell things. And with the boys, it's violence. And it's all of these movies, very violent movies, that are toys for really young boys. That's how these movies are marketed to the boys. This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger toy from the Terminator, I believe. And then there's the video games. And that's another thing that's really concerning. For those of you who don't play video games, I suggest that you take a look at some of the ones that are popular with young boys. In the United States, the Grand Theft Auto, it was the best-selling video game among teens and preteens, and that's the one where you can have sex with a prostitute and then kill her. And these games transmit values. They really do transmit values. In fact, extremist groups make video games specifically to reach kids. The US Army has a video game specifically to get young boys and girls interested in the Army at a young age. That's from one of the latest Grand Theft Auto. There's a school where I work at Judge Baker Children's Center, and they have a big problem with parents buying these for really, really young boys. That's from Postal, another popular game. So this is a huge problem, but it's not hopeless. The fact that you're here today is really important, and it's a beginning. And what I'm hoping that you'll take from this is, first of all, that it's a problem. Second of all, that you need to talk to people about it. And third of all, to look at yourself and think about what it is that you can do. If you work with parents, you can talk to parents. If you have access to the legislature, you can lobby in the legislature. We need to approach this problem on all sorts of different levels. Social change like this, it's not going to come from the top down. It's going to come from the bottom up. And we need to, I think, work together. And this isn't just a US problem, it's a global problem. Thank you.